Hello, everybody. This is Matt Johnson, and I am here with the editing and VFX team of Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, and they'll introduce themselves.
You go, Bobby.
Okay, I'm Robert Claude Upchurch IV. I'm one of the editors, along with
Curt Lobb, I'm the other editor, and we got
Tristan Zerafa, VFX supervisor.
And so we thought that this would be a good opportunity not only to talk about what it's like editing a movie like this, because I'm sure if you're listening to this, you know that editing something like this is kind of crazy, but also how we use VFX, because even from the dirties, I think VFX, specifically with Tristan, have been such an essential part of shooting a movie this way, and it's not obviously apparent as to why. So I wonder if we want to start. Well, you know what? Let's just start in order. But just so you know that VFX is used by us as a storytelling tool, and it's actually what allows us to film the way that we do. And by that I mean in public, shooting whatever we want, pointing cameras anywhere. It's like Tristan and his team are able to basically save anything narratively that we want to keep but can't use because of contextual problems. Anyway, I have a question for Bobby, and it is, I was very against using this footage at the beginning of the film. What was it that, do you remember what you said to me where you were like, it has to be in this? Because you were really the champion of starting in this old 2006 or 2007 footage.
There's a few things. For me, this opening of the show of the web show was the very first Zapruder thing I'd ever saw, and so I knew that it had magic enough to capture me and make me a mega fan. But that scene alone does so much to explain what Nirvana the band does in so many ways, and it's a great way of showing how their plans have escalated over these 17 years, going from this flyer thing to then when we cut into the next scene and we see what you guys are up to. So I figured it had to be this way, and I know you were super against it, but your reasons were.
Say again?
Your reasons were you didn't like seeing how you guys acted.
You're embarrassed. You're
embarrassed.
Well, I have less vain reasons than that as well. And one of the reasons that I thought we should include it is because it made that jump back to 2008 so unbelievably surprising when it happened. And so I thought, wouldn't it be cool to save that till later and actually open the movie on this scene that we're looking at right now. But of course, as always, I was completely and totally wrong. And starting on that old footage does do a very good job of as you said, setting up the endless day that these characters are living in.
And we used South by as our testing ground for it. That was all our deal, was we were going to see how it would play there, and then it went over really well. So
that was the I'm always making little bets with my own squad, and I was like, I bet you when you guys see it, you're going to want to take it out, and boy did I ever get my ass handed to me after that screening when I was there being like, I still want to take it out, but of course I was completely wrong. And now I'm happy, but I can't really sit through it. I'm so embarrassed. Curt and Bobby, how many times did you guys have to edit this scene?
Four?
I made 3 or 4, maybe.
It probably went through the
counting
most.
The first attempt of this movie, that had a whole other version of how the scene went, but probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 times.
Here's my question: how many different versions, different shoot days, made it into this final edit? I'm not sure. Are we mixing a lot of days, or is it basically the last day?
I know how many days there are, because do you remember what we're cutting around here?
What?
Well, every single one of these, Jay has a different motivation.
Oh, sure. He's got his map, his world tour map, or he's got his
one version,
I want to be the leader.
Exactly. And so every single time we went to reshoot this, it was really Jay was rightfully being like, okay, I want my character to be doing this or doing that. And so every single time, when we finally realized what the scene was supposed to be about, we needed to cut out. That's why every single time we cut to Jay, it's such an interstitial it's because we're cutting around so much exposition about He's written a song. He's got this map.
We were also pretty sure, or not pretty sure, but we wondered if we didn't still quite nail the opening, and we were waiting until we kind of edited the rest of the movie and felt good about it, and then we're prepared to rebuild just this corner in like a set because we were losing the house, right? So I think we were like, oh well, maybe we'll have to do that. But then luckily, we ended up having what we needed to make it work.
And I'll also say this is the very first example of Tristan's VFX, which of course nobody notices when you're watching, but that whiteboard behind us, it is changed because we've shot this over like basically a year, and every single time it cuts to me, it's at a completely different time. The whiteboard has no consistency whatsoever, and so in order to make it seem seamless, even though there's still tons of incongruencies to it, we're going in and making VFX changes to that whiteboard so that it seems somewhat consistent, and that's something that we do throughout the entire movie. These whiteboard replacements.
Yeah, anything to get a little more mileage and sync up the narrative, right?
Yeah, as I said, you can't shoot an improvised movie where the background and everything is changing so freely without a VFX supervisor who knows that they're going to be going in and finding like very creative ways to make it all seem seamless.
Yeah. That's not really Queen Street. That's a VFX shot.
Oh, there's another VFX shot.
Maybe did
that's college.
Yeah.
I remember when Curt showed us this for the first time. Do you remember when it was, Matt? Or Curt?
You said when it was?
Yeah. Like there, it's.
You guys came to Godrich, right? Or no?
We were coming back from the test screening in Toronto that Curt couldn't come to because he got snowed in.
Yeah.
And he had been working on this while we were in the car.
Putting Army into the opening.
Yep.
Because did we have
we
the
had
opening credits here?
Or we had a different opening for the test
originally, I talked about this in the other commentary, but originally it was a song by Jack Kerouac. That you know what?
Jesus.
I'm telling you I'm going to make that song work one day.
We know the truth of that idea. Where that idea came. We know where that idea came from.
That idea came from Carly. We were driving up to Godrich. She put it on and she said, "Isn't this amazing?" And I said, "I'm going to put it in the Nirvana the band movie," and she started to cry.
Yeah.
Oh. She was so moved. She was so moved.
You guys.
You know what? One of my favorite little moments is coming up. Jay's like reaction.
Where he goes, "Oh!"
This was a pretty late addition to the cut, right? Wasn't this like?
I think this is one of the last things that we shot, and you can tell because there's no editing.
Yeah, and one of those rare, like you go shoot it and it worked, and okay, I guess this is in the movie, which is so rare and bizarre when it happens, but
yeah, but it's always closer to the end. I find that as you get to like the end of an edit, like when you basically have the story, whenever you send Jay and I out to shoot anything. This worked on BlackBerry, on the Bourdain movie right now is the same. Like, you go out, you know the context, you know everything, you don't have to ask any questions. It's so easy.
Shoot it for the movie. And that's actually how
shoot it for the movie.
Most movies work, believe it or not, which is crazy.
They know. They know ahead of time what's going to be in the movie. Yeah, well, they're better than us. Tell us the nightmare about editing sequences like this. You like, tell us everything that's wrong from an edit point of view with a scene like this.
Bobby, I'm thinking of continuity.
Yeah, with the continuity and the camera angles like that. There's a funny switch that's happening right now.
Where jumping the axis.
They're not. Yeah, the axis is getting jumped. They're moving around. This guy's working, so he's like having to go help people, and you guys are coming back, ending the scene, and then coming back and having him redo stuff. So, but this scene in general, I feel like was not the trickiest. For how good it got, I feel like.
We knew we had gold with this guy, and so it's. I find that with Nirvana the band, oftentimes it's like when you get somebody that you're like, oh my God, well this is perfect. The editing finds a way to make it work. It's the scenes when you're trying to make something work narratively, but nothing in it is really that funny. That's when it's like torture.
Mm-hmm. There's a few things in here though where it's like you grab the snippers and you're like, well, do you think these will work? And the camera doesn't really ever quite get the shot that you'd want, and things like that were tricky. And I think you moved down the aisle at one point and side conversations taking place in two different spots, but hopefully it doesn't really feel like it. Oh,
this is one of my favorite creations that you made, Curt. That I was talking about in the other commentary how when you first showed it to me, I was like, well, how the hell did we do this?
Yeah, it wasn't planned, really, right? Like both cameras didn't know. Yeah, it's crazy. But I guess you're saying Spider-Man, so they're like, okay, where? And
so this is the beginning of the first major VFX sequence in the film. Because we're probably going to talk a lot about this, Triz, I wonder if we want to start now, like with talking about what went into this from your point of view.
Yeah. Well, it was the first time that we have ever shot a project where we didn't have control of the main camera on the edge walk. And so it became very, very pragmatic problem to solve. And we realized quickly that we had to pantomime the tour guide and guide him to proper framing that could tell the story properly. And that was, we went, how many times did we rehearse that? Different possibilities of what someone could possibly do. We had a bunch of drawings too that we were hung up on for a while that were like very specific camera angles. And I remember figuring out in the last minute, MJ, in our last rehearsal, being like, we're never going to get this angle. We have to play it safe and go wider, And I'm glad we did it.
Me too.
Was that with the initial plan? The initial plan of cutting it while they were leaning back?
Exactly. Yeah, the POV. And of course, that would be like a pretty thrilling kind of visual. But to be honest, I think it feels way more visceral and real being as wide as it currently is.
So what Tristan's talking about, if you can't visualize it, is that there's a moment on this edge walk tour, if you guys ever go to Toronto and do this, where the tour guide has you lean back over the edge and he's basically looking right at your face. And the original plan was we were going to cut the cable at that moment, like reach up and cut the cable so that you basically saw me vanish and like right in front of this guy. But we realized that was going to be so insanely difficult for a number of reasons. Mostly, Tristan, you remember, it was actually the digital replacement warp that was going to happen on my face.
Yeah.
Like, when do we switch into a digital double? Like, there was just no clear way to be like, okay, now he's a digital double, now he's not.
Yeah, it wasn't very forgiving at all. Plus, we had so many other like situational things that we had to be keeping track of, and utility data that we needed to be gathering. Like, we couldn't get these jumpsuits to scan them or take them out of the CN Tower premise. So we had to scan the characters right there while they were suiting up. And so, the complications were many.
Tristan, I forgot about that. Yeah, you did a full scan
Body
of us
scan.
body scan while we were in the change room.
Yeah,
oh my God.
hoping that no one would notice.
Yeah.
And I
For
even had,
everybody...
Yeah, go ahead. No, go.
Oh, I was just about to say that the audience is about to see you because Tristan is one of the people on the sky on this edge walk because we wanted him with us so that he could tell us if something went wrong from a VFX point of view. He is literally right there, so he's the guy right in front of me, and so if anything happened or he needed us to do anything differently, he could literally just tell us in the shot while he's pretending to be just a normal civilian.
Something crazy too is that the dome is currently actually closed, and Trizzy and his team made it open. And Trizzy, you could talk about this, but you had to go and like roto every one of those little great rectangles, right?
Yeah. Every great rectangle needed to be rotoed, and that whole roof is retractable, full CG. And it's closing slowly across the entire cut. And figuring out the timing of that was quite special with you, Curt. There's no other way. Like, you and I have such a shorthand of figuring this stuff out that like it would be impossible to do this with any other crew, I think.
I remember when we were talking about Tony, and I was talking to Tristan. I was like, okay, so I need you to come do VFX on Tony. And the first thing Tristan said was, okay, but Curt's editing, right? I was like, yeah. Don't worry.
Thank you, Trizzy.
Yes, man.
So right there, we knew the camera's going to look down, and now watch, as soon as we're back up, now just it's totally taken over.
Yeah.
At one point, when did we know we were going to cut the audio? Because did we try it with it in the whole time at like a festival ever, or just a test screening maybe?
It was definitely in... Oh, that's a great question. I was going to say the sound mix, but I thought that there was sound during South by, but I could be wrong. Like, I don't remember it going completely silent.
It wasn't. Yes, it wasn't. Because remember, one of my notes was that
we've got to change it.
Yeah, maybe that's
But it was made in the sound mix, I think, right? Am I crazy?
right.
That decision.
This shot being
is all
this wide.
mocap.
Yeah, and this was informed by you, right, Triz? Like keeping it this wide, just to
Yeah.
keep it convincing.
Yeah, and allowed both characters to do motion capture of this whole moment. So it's fully digital. And then also the jump off was mocap as well, where MJ literally threw Jay off into a styrofoam pit. Yeah, quite fun.
And we had to experiment with how Matt and Jay, like what their track was when they're parachuting down, right? And when they were going to pass by the CN Tower and go back. And of course, we shot a bunch of plates of different camera moves and then tried out different ways of what felt best. I was always scared that it was going to feel like they should be down further from the tower after they've jumped, but I don't think that's ever a complaint. I think it always feels right.
Yeah. We also all learned how the engineering of the closing Sky Dome actually works.
Yeah.
As Torontonians, none of us had any understanding of how it actually worked.
Well, for months, MJ, didn't you think it closed like this way?
Yeah.
Like to this
I
middle.
thought in fact, I wrote the scene based on that because when we land, I'm trying to talk about like how it closed just in time, and I'm trying to like get my hand through it, shit like that. And in reality, it closes almost like
To the front.
A rotating shell. Yeah, it's weird.
Shell closes something. Yeah, but one of the things about the opening movie was that we wanted to do something that for audiences who had never seen an episode of the show before would make them think up front, and this actually ties into the bond that whole like 2007 footage of letting them know that you feel like this thing's happening next to really get crazy right off the bat. And so Tristan's sequence of doing like easily the hardest, difficult stuff we've ever done, having that open the film, I think became very important for storytelling generally, and we kind of wrote the whole based on that. You'll notice that like the CN Tower, the storm that comes, that closed the dome, the fact that it was raining right before it. All of this stuff winds up factoring.
Time machine plan. Bird, we pretend to be from the future. We build a oh my God, we take the RV.
Buy in. Yeah.
In Back to the Future.
This is a moment that I remember. It was like an early edit that really got us all laughing and feeling like it would be in the movie. And then we showed it to people, and it never quite got the same response that we thought.
I don't think anybody thought it was as funny as we did, even now. Like the fact that Jay is so sad, and there's rats in his house. I remember originally there was like 6 different shots of rats. Remember how many rat shots we had? Yeah. It's by far the best one. But
yeah, it's great.
It's a real tragedy. The things that
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a lot of
How many
versions of
conversations about darts, CG darts?
Oh yeah.
Like I believe right at the very end.
Thank God we didn't do it.
Were those red pellets enhanced in VFX though? Were those enlarged? Or is that actually?
I didn't do it.
Okay.
The day was in the grade, and so Jared and Connor Fisher made them much brighter and isolated.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They were.
Yeah, well, you know what? The audio's not. Yeah, this was a real heartbreaking. So that's what we lost compared to that. That's really when Curt's original edit of this. Was it you? Was it together the first time, Curt or Bobby?
Yeah, me, I think.
Yeah, everything. Well, the actual opening song of Back to the Future, and went to the South by Southwest Film Festival. Got to hear that. Not that this is bad, but I have tinnitus. The original of it, and it being the actual Back to the Future, and our opening credits song.
Yeah, I had a good feeling.
That a good.
That's where they drew the line, eh?
That's where they drew the line. That's where our lawyers said, no, this is. From an editing point of view, I wonder want to talk about like one of the many Nirvana metrics of the moment. We show like the VHS footage of things that we're parodying, mostly to try to set up the symbols that later this movie is also going to create. And so it's no accident that Curt shows exactly the beats in Back to the Future that you are going to see exactly happen in the third act of this movie. I almost verbatim. We also needed to reintroduce the idea of like how many miles an hour?
88.
Iterate mode in the edit.
You know, something that I feel like we were all struggling with for a while story-wise, and then finally we landed on you putting 2008 into the time machine because that's when the camera was from, kind of, right? But I don't know if it's explicitly said, but I was always really pushing for that, for you to be like, when did what year did we get these cameras? And then it's like, boom, 2008. But I don't think that's something people really question. And that's what I loved about that opening, using the web show, was just setting up like the year 2008 so that it just felt like it made more sense and it wasn't so random when you travel back there.
So, do you have to be a band or a
Yeah.
duo, or can
I'm just not talking.
be solo?
Watch! It's a full-time machine! I have the flux capacitor, I have the batteries. Oh man, I left my orbits in that stupid thing. Let's do it again where I don't have oh shit, oh fuck. We gotta do it again. No! Oh fuck, oh no! Oh fuck, oh Phil, Jesus! Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. You got it? Oh, is that even gonna do anything? Put it out. Yeah, I'm trying to put it out. Sorry, I have a show.
That's
Malcolm and yeah.
Yeah, hiding right behind me. I had to shoot that thing about 50 times.
I said I have a show booked tomorrow.
Well, that's another beautiful piece of editing that you guys were able to find these little details. And again, I think a lot of people look at that and they think, oh, what a great joke. And they don't realize.
I heard you just say that was Bobby, but I think the answer is that's MJ.
Yeah, it might have been.
Oh, I did that?
I think so.
You know what? I remember why I did it too. And the reason I did it was because, and this is a great editing trick with Nirvana the band, if you ever see an insert of anything or a cutaway to anything ever,
Yeah.
it is not because we think it's
Look at
funny
this.
or cool.
Yeah.
It's because we are using it to cut around
Band-Aid.
performance. It's always a Band-Aid.
No,
to
this
slot
is one of
two
the
things
successful moments that you guys have where it's you think this is hilarious, and I think a lot of people do too.
together. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
I
is
was so
one of my-
stoked when I first saw this footage and I saw this shot, and I was really hoping everyone else would be as happy with it as
Now,
I
when I
was.
showed my family, it did not.
Nothing,
go over
zero.
well. But in a theater full of fans, it's pretty funny.
When you sit the whole fam down to watch it with this commentary, we'll see if they laugh this time.
Yep, next year. Yep.
And no.
Yeah, I wanted to go back for a second to talk about the realization that we had that we could cut between Jay's phone call to that club in Ottawa and my video going back to 2008, because that was a great example of the editing basically saving the story. Because before, the audience needed to watch that entire story of me, and then Jay just left, and we didn't really know why he was leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was when I think this was a Bobby note, wasn't it?
If it was, I
no,
don't
it was
remember
Luca.
anything.
It was
Oh,
Luca's
nice.
idea. Luca said, "Hey, we should have Jay call
On the
somewhere
phone.
to try to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
an
yeah,
open mic," and that really just tied the entire story together.
And it helps so much when we don't actually have to watch you say the whole story of what's on the video. Like, you cut
course.
anything out, so it's like, you can
That
fill in the
shot
gaps.
of the RV on the bridge was the only remaining shot from the first attempt at the movie.
Yeah, I learned that in the other commentary track.
This shot was in the movie for a long time, and everyone always said, find a better shot of that moment, and we never did.
Yeah, I remember it well. Yeah, now we're in the suburbs.
There-
Yeah, now we're back in Toronto, and it's summer. So often we would send footage to Curt and Bobby, and we would think, oh my God, this went so badly. And 90% of the time that we were right, they would be like, yeah, you guys screwed it up. But what doesn't translate in the footage is just how hot and frustrated we are in this place. This is an RV from the 1980s with no air conditioning. We're driving it in the heat of summer. And so every time we would shoot anything, it just felt like it went badly. And this is one of those shoots. Like I'm looking at it now, remembering the pain we were in.
Doing the time machine? Did you say you're doing time machine plan? Yeah.
Do we still have this one shot? I don't even know if it's in the movie still. Yeah, it is. Great. That's another example of something some of us think is funny and no one ever laughs at, but hey, you gotta keep a few of those. This shot on its own is so underwhelming. It's so funny when you watch it with no VFX. It's like where that shot starts, there's like a second of usable footage before it. Because you guys quickly go like, okay, go now, quick. And then you start the scene and yeah.
It's actually one of my favorite VFX shots because although it's not invisible, obviously there's like the VFX of the Back to the Future light coming from the front. There's so many crazy tricks going on. Like the fact that you're able to keep the inside of the RV in 2025 and then seamlessly turn it into 2008 in the same shot. It's just one of those things where like
Streetcar completely CG.
Yeah, and because those streetcars, if you're not from Toronto, those were the streetcars that existed back in 2008 and are no longer on the streets. Like you can't find those anymore. I would say that was that shot the most work in terms of just going back and doing it again and again and again?
Up there, the nighttime one was just as beefy, just because we had less content to work with. So yeah, I'd say the nighttime version of the time jump was harder.
Yeah, I look at those, and when we're shooting them, I'm always thinking like, oh well, Tristan's gonna figure it out, and then needlessly, we sort of shoot it in as chaotic and kind of wild a way as we possibly can, with no consideration for how the VFX will work. And then, sure enough, we always hear like, okay, we can do this shot, but it's gonna take like 5 months.
That Subway Jared poster, of course, or ad on the back of the bus was VFX, and we got just so lucky that the camera zoomed out when it did and how it did, and that's what gave the idea.
I wonder if you guys want to talk about that. Is how because you guys and Tristan work so closely together. How oftentimes we won't even know what a VFX shot will be. Like I'm on set and I'm not thinking that there'll be VFX there, and how you guys will find opportunities to create VFX story moments because you have total autonomy, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah.
And jokes.
Yeah. I think it totally was the camera move, and we knew we wanted more beats of like, giving clues that it's 2008 and funny, obvious things that Matt and Jay weren't catching on to. And that became one of them when we just saw that shot. It might have been Bobby's idea. I think it's Bobby.
It's a unique opportunity in VFX to be part of the punchline. You know, you're building the joke. It's usually not the case. So, or you're the punchline for the wrong reasons, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, right. They're looking at your shot being like, what the fuck is this? But to me, as soon as we did this, as soon as we did those screen replacements in the Dirties, like Triz, I like it's like something opened up in my mind where I was like, oh, wait a minute. VFX are not... They're not a tool that you use when you can't do something physically. They're a creative tool just like anything else, and they can be used as in the same way you use editing, where it's like, oh, if I change the context of this footage just a little bit, then all of a sudden it becomes something totally different. And where we really learned that was making the show, where the main use of VFX, and I was surprised we didn't even use it that much in this movie. I thought we were going to use it wall to wall, would be Tristan stitching shots together digitally to turn them into single takes, which in a
there was
documentary...
one right there, I think. Right,
yes,
Bobby?
right.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
I'm so happy I brought it up at this moment. So that was a digital stitch that makes it seem like one single take is actually, one single take is made out of multiples. And these are the types of things that you don't prep because it's impossible. We're shooting this like a documentary and we want it to seem crazy. And we want the camera work to be relatively random. But when you can create a single story moment, like what you just saw, it may seem like invisible or like, oh, who cares? But without those moments, the movie really does feel effortful. Like it feels like it's tiring to watch, and you're like, what? Like it just you can see the hand of Curt and Bobby trying to manipulate the story together, whereas when Triz can create those bridges, yeah, it's like it's like magic. It's like what you're watching is actually happening, which is my favorite feeling.
Okay, watch this. Hold on to your butts. I'm accelerating us to 88 kilometers. Or is it miles now? Whoa. Just watch.
You'll notice that every single time we're driving this thing, we never show you out the window.
Because it always looks so slow.
The fastest we could get this thing to drive would be like 40 kilometers an hour, because it's so big and we're always within the city limits.
And I suppose in this sequence we really don't want to be showing out the window too much because you're in 2008. You know?
Yeah, Triz, the for those who haven't seen this movie, well, of course you've seen this movie before, but you may think that we're doing like a ton of VFX to make it seem like it is 2008 in the street. Do you remember if we did a lot, Triz?
No, we pretty much had a dismissive attitude on the things that weren't a focus, you know? As long as there wasn't an e-bike or like a Tesla driving around, it was quite forgiving. And then moments like this, where we're deliberate, became VFX shots, right?
Yeah.
And that we just said we could get laden with 1,000 shots, or we can just be cool about selects. And I think we went the latter way.
Well, as often as you can.
Yeah.
We like this is one of my favorite shots. What's amazing about that shot that you just watched is that it was all one take. Again, like it's another moment where like we're not cutting, because every single time I find Nirvana the band cuts, it seems fake.
Yep.
I shouldn't say fake, but faker. And so it's fine when Jay and I are talking with one another, like in a scene like this, and it becomes kind of a standard like sitcom drama or sitcom comedy. That's a tautology, but it's when we're in the real world, if it starts doing this kind of ping pong editing, you just feel how fake it is. And so I try to never literally ever do it. I would say that's probably the number one thing that we do in our edits, like when we go from our rough cuts to our fine cuts, is we basically try to remove as many edits as we can. Is that about right?
We got to figure out how to get back.
Yeah, I guess we try to always keep that in mind all the way through. But it's funny, I never thought of it that way. But you're totally right. When you're out in the real world, it's a very different philosophy. And usually because you're just not cross-shooting and stuff like we do with you and Jay.
Now, okay? First things first.
More visual effects on this board, right?
Yeah, well, this board was crazy because I draw a straight, like a guide that says we're in 2000 into 2008, and yet we shot this scene for so long, and I went on so many insane tangents, and that board behind us is just changing constantly, and I think every single time the camera's on me, it's a VFX shot. Like, that's not what that board says right now.
No.
It says the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
To try to make that butterfly effect exchange funny as possible, it was just about taking out as many words as I could of what you guys were saying around it. So that was just butterfly effect.
It's one of my favorite jokes, and I say it to myself all the time. It was an Ashton Kutcher film. The butterfly effect.
That was a pickup shot about No Doubt to set up the drums.
I'll admit something that I realized afterwards. I've already admitted this to you guys. That I am actually talking about a different band, and that there actually was there literally was No Doubt before Gwen Stefani joined.
There's a singer. I think since
I looked up any of their music because I was like, oh, maybe we could use it, and
I think I found one track on YouTube, and it was like, okay, it's so old you can barely.
But was it ska? It was like not ska.
It was always ska. It was always ska.
Okay.
Oh, that's a reference. We should say what that's a reference to, because we found
Oh,
it.
yeah.
We thought it was the funniest shit in the world. There's that video of the dude deleting his Bitcoin
library or something?
wallet.
Oh.
His Bitcoin
That's what the
wallet
description
password.
said for the video. Who knows what?
Yeah, and he's
The guy
saying,
filming his dad.
I fucking deleted it. And we were saying this in the editing room so much that when I got to go do that reshoot, I got to switch it to, I ruined it. Oh, I fucking ruined it. Of course, I don't think anybody is ever going to recognize that in a million years. Oh, I fucking deleted it.
In earlier versions, and scenes that we shot too, Matt and Jay are going to go and try and get the case of orbits before their younger selves get it, because this was the day that they first bought the orbits. And so they're going to go to the store, but then they realize they should just grab one bottle, not the whole case, or else it will butterfly effect everything in a weird way.
And if you want to see that on this, DVD, there is a full animatic of Curt and Bobby's original 2008 sequence. And you know what? That's what you guys should talk about now, because like every single time I'm at a film festival doing a Q&A, the main question everybody has is, how did we do this 2008 sequence? What's going on? And I always tell them, look, I had very little to do with it. I was there when we shot it as kids, but Curt and Bobby basically did the entire thing. And I wonder if you guys want to take a minute to discuss your approach.
Once we pivoted to this new overall idea of the movie, then we knew that so much of it would be based, or at least this core scenes would be based off the web show stuff. And so we just got our hands on it. And the first thing we did before you guys shot any of the rest of the movie was just sit and watch it for a month, which was fun for me. I was a fan of the web show, but it was pretty clear, I feel like. It wasn't like we were wishy-washy on, as we saw footage of like if it could be useful. It's like pretty clear if something's going to be helpful or not. And then it was just a matter of taking all that and then seeing what we had and trying to write a narrative through it where these guys are trying to either get into the apartment, get the orbits, and just find interesting ways for them to interact. But I'll let Curt.
Yeah, and I remember when Bobby first sent me the clip of young Matt and Jay saying, those guys look like us, or that guy looks like me, and it was such a thrill. And that was what was really fun about watching the footage, even though so much of it, of course, wasn't usable. It was like when those moments did pop up and you just instantly knew that they would be in the movie. That was pretty exciting. And there was enough of those.
From my perspective, that was really the Rosetta Stone of this entire movie. This shot right here. Mm-hmm. So this shot is... I got a feeling things are really going to work out for us. It's the perfect line where it's like, I'm obviously just talking like an idiot as a kid, and then I say I see the cops, and then we start walking away. And in that same take, like we cut away so that we can run away, but in the same take, this is that same shot. We then say, doesn't that guy look like me? And that's the whole movie. It's like these guys are saying in the future things are going to work out great for us, and then they see themselves. And so we just sort of worked backwards from that from a story point of view. And it's when we knew we had a movie, when Bobby first sent that clip. It was like, oh my God.
That was the kernel.
That is it. Like that's what the entire film was built around that one shot. And I bet you if we hadn't found that kind of singular, okay, this shot can happen at the very beginning, then it can happen at the middle, and it can still be resonant with the message of the movie at the end, we would not have a movie, because we would have, I'm sure, just given up on this ridiculous idea.
There's 2 or 3 stitches.
Yeah.
Shot
I think
here.
it's 4 different shots. So you just watched 2. So 2 shots have already elapsed.
Yeah.
There's one right here.
There. Like there. And now
here.
there's another one. So that's 4 different shots to get us up that staircase.
And even putting this orbits box here, we had like written thing, like why that made sense and why it was there. And it's so funny, we strip all these other things away and it's like, whatever. I think the box is allowed to be there because it's empty.
Yeah,
if the orbits were in there,
in
then
it.
it would be like, what? Yeah.
You'll see in the animatic that it's so ridiculously big for like a beverage box, because we wanted to VFX an old shot of Matt and Jay where Matt's holding a boom box.
Yeah.
The kaboom.
Remember that, Tristan?
That
The
fit that shape.
cylindrical kaboom stereo. Yeah, it's so big. That's funny. Yeah, we built that box to match the dynamics so that you would be holding it on your shoulder. That's not in the movie at all, right?
No, we completely cut it out.
Which is...
But we shot it. Like,
It's in the BTS for sure somewhere. right?
For sure.
Yeah.
But this original 2008 section, do you remember how long this was? I do.
Yeah.
I do. It was scary.
With footage, like after we'd shot it, it was 24 minutes long.
Yeah.
We
At
were
the
in
restaurant?
2008 we went to the restaurant. It was crazy. Had to steal the key from ourselves. Well, the thing that was long was us on the roof watching ourselves. Remember when I show my naked ass?
I know.
And we're like looking at my naked.
Which I took out of the animatic, but I'm putting those little moments into the goofs and spoofs for people.
Oh, really? Oh, good.
But talking about the Orbits box being based on this idea that it was going to take over the boombox, it's funny how many decisions probably are made in this movie for something that became irrelevant. It's like we just get
Do you want to know
tied
from
to
from an evolutionary point of view? That's called a spandrel.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's when an organism evolves something that gets it to its next level, but then has to keep it because it evolved into it, but it has absolutely no purpose.
Right.
These are things like male nipples or I'm trying to think of the other ones in humans, but it's a very interesting, it's an architectural concept where you need to build something to support what you're actually trying to build, but
Like
then you can't
molars,
take away
right?
the thing that you built. Say again?
Molars?
Or wisdom teeth?
Molars? You mean
Yeah.
with?
Yeah, wisdom teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe wisdom teeth have some function that we don't necessarily know about. But in Nirvana the band, we are full of spandrels because it's like we have all of this stuff that's like vestigial that you're like, well, why is this even in the movie? But of course, an audience doesn't know what we know, and so they just think, oh, they wanted a big Orbits box. Good for them.
What to sleep?
So this to me is the big sequence. This is the sequence that everybody thinks is all VFX. The number of times that I've had to tell people that this isn't AI, or that, Tristan, is there even one VFX shot in this sequence?
There's one face replacement.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's a big stitch right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we're doing stitches all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So other than VFX stitches, this is all just editing.
This was going to be a big moment here. There was planned like 25 VFX shots, and we cut it down a lot.
We were going to put like a foreground of the door on the shots of young Jay, right, when he's sleeping.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Ask anyone in the audience if we
they
knew
miss it. I know. That's so funny. It's us being like insecure, like, oh, everyone's going to know. This is all fake. But I think you do enough things right in a sequence like this, and then you can kind of get away with the rest.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, eh? I feel like Nirvana the band, this movie specifically, is like right on the edge of being like barely getting away with what it's trying to do, but we're just there. I would also say this: if you don't like this movie by this point, you have turned it off.
Yeah.
Like if you like it, you're willing to put up with all kinds of crazy shit just to get to the next moment.
This idea for a song to play with the band. And this is, and I'm a spirit, and I am a Dickensian spirit.
Yeah, it's a real A for effort. Well, you get an A for effort, Nirvana the band. And actually, that sums up the series well.
Yeah.
These guys do. The Rivoli would give them an A for effort.
Yeah. You know what? This is a great Bobby idea where Jay plays Never Come Down in this moment to give young Jay.
You know what? This is something we should talk about, how people don't realize how much of these movies get written in Godrich between the three of us.
Right.
How it's like we will just be watching footage and Bobby will say, hey, Jay should play Never Come Down. We'll be like, yeah, okay, we got to rewrite the whole movie around that. That probably happened, 150 times?
Yeah. But it's funny because then you watch the scene, you'd be like, what? That seems almost like one of the things this whole thing was like written around. But it's like, no.
Exactly. Well, the other great one is when I take the pliers out of my pocket at the end of the movie just to plug them in to electrocute myself. That was one of the last things we shot.
Yeah. This shot, the shot of young Matt on the couch, we use every single frame. Probably more than once, actually. But every single frame that's usable of Matt with a hat over his eyes when he's young is in this movie. Like, yeah, we were lucky.
Is it? Are we looping it, or is it? It must be.
We're just like using handles on each side, I think, often.
Over and over again. It's funny because, it doesn't really make sense in the web series that I would ever be sleeping with a hat over my face.
No, we just got lucky. And again, that was one of those things where initially we wrote this where it was just young Jay and the two older guys. And then when we found that shot where Matt's got the hat over his eyes, we're like, oh, well, then maybe we can get away with this. Put him on the couch.
and it's so much better.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's in terms of one single sequence. To me, even more so than the CN Tower jump, it is a real like, well, nobody else can do this.
And so lucky. It's so funny that all this 2008 footage that wasn't good enough or, didn't fit the show at the time, that was kind of scrapped, that at the time you're probably like, well, not that it's a waste because you shot so much anyways, but at the time it just kind of meant nothing and then became so valuable and needed in the future. It's like you had no idea that this weird shit of Jay by himself. And you know what? It's Evan Morgan in the kitchen.
Yes, I know.
Because maybe you're on your
he's
trip.
acting with Evan.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know that name, Evan Morgan is director of The Kid Detective, and he's another Canadian. He was also the co-writer of The Dirties, and Curt edited The Kid Detective. Triz, did you do VFX on that movie?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So we basically have the whole creative team of Evan Morgan's movie right here on this commentary.
Anyways, that's all to say. It's so lucky that your young selves shot all this stuff and gave us all these gifts.
It's funny because thematically it winds up being like it's why Nirvana the band is so it's like infinite to me because thematically that's so true. These guys thought they were wasting their time, and Jay would have said that, and then lo and behold, all the time that you wasted wound up being the most valuable thing that you ever did in your life. Like it is
Jay McCarroll.
Yeah, Jay. I knew all along that you should have shot that scene with Evan Morgan when I wasn't even in the apartment.
But
I hated this scene. I don't mean to cut you off.
I was going to say, but the flip side of it was you guys shoot a bunch of other random stuff, and we probably would have made that work too.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, this scene that we're looking at right now is a good example of that because I thought we were going to have to go back and reshoot this. I hated it. I hated the edit. I hated you guys trying to make me do that fake punch to Jay. And it was only at the end, as this always happens, I get teased constantly because I always wind up contradicting myself. That's a VFX shot. That's the only VFX shot here. And a beautiful one. Like, that's very well done.
That's a Luca special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Luca did that. Yeah.
Thanks, Luca.
Yeah. And then it just so happens my knee covers the face of the body double when I go down. But what I was going to say is that oftentimes I'll react badly to an early edit of something and be like, ugh, no, we can't do that. That's awful. And then these guys will cut it out. And then we'll spend months on the scene trying to edit it, fix it. That scene at the door is a perfect example of this. And then in the end, when we've changed it, I'll be like, let's put in that shot where the punch, or these guys will put the punch back in, and I'll be like, perfect. Yeah, the punch makes it. But in my own defense, it's because the context of the scene has changed so much that now it's justified in doing that. But maybe you guys feel differently. I'm not sure if...
I think it speaks to how things always work out. Like the thing that you really want in, if it deserves to be in, it will be in the end. And if it didn't deserve it, there's nothing I feel like didn't make it or made it into this movie that doesn't deserve it. Like we never had arguments where we both don't agree at the end, I think. And
I don't think we've ever released a movie ever where we didn't all agree on what was in it. I'm trying to think. Tria's like, have we ever put something out where you're like, oh fuck, that was a big mistake? I'm talking in terms of like VFX.
No.
I truly have something I wish we did coming up. There, my roti place was in the background. Isn't that a new, like very new?
Damn.
It's look,
I flagged it over and over.
My roti place opened in like 2022. Like it's super new. I love that shot so much. The reason, whose idea, that was the worst I've ever been hurt in my life. If you want to watch the deleted scenes, you can see me rolling around like a clown after I hit my ass harder than I've ever, it was like I got hit by a train. What I wanted to talk about was that who came up with the idea of doing it night into day on the camera? Because like as we travel through time. Because I really think that was the trick that made that shot work.
I don't know if it was my idea, but I think I was definitely
about it.
Yeah, I was definitely gung-ho about let's make it different than the first one we saw, and how can we do that?
But of course, we're cheating like crazy because if you actually take a CCD camera,
because if you actually travel in time,
Well, but I mean, literally, if you were to change from night into day on a 3 CCD camera like that, then the whole it would blow out instantly.
Yeah.
You'd be like 20 stops overexposed, and so we're doing a lot of cheating in that shot. I don't even know how you did that, actually, Triz. How did you do that?
It was a really tough composite, and that's where that was just a lot of time. You just need time to do it. And I remember Jared, I didn't want to do it at first, but we agreed. Jared pitched a solution, and I said, Jared, we can do that, and that will work, but you have to go shoot a very specific plate tonight. And he went out and he did it. And then, do you remember that?
I remember it very well because I remember it was Jared's idea to have my hand be up.
Yes.
And then we've tracked the hand and then move from my hand into the shot. Yeah.
But then lining up, because it was going to day, we also needed like a component plate that had matched the same type of like speed and height and all of this stuff, because it would have to be digital if we hadn't done that. But dude, Jared is such a good dude to have on the team. Like, he's so gung-ho about making these things work. And so the next day he was out there, delivered it, and the comp came together.
It's I guess it's funny in some ways. Jared probably should have been on. I mean, I did the entire production commentary with him, but he really is the other leg of the table of VFX, which is that when like Curt, Bobby, and Tristan will often design shots, and then Tristan will go with Lou and the VFX team to basically problem solve it. But then comes the time of like asset creation, and that's when Tristan's like, okay, Jared, can you get me this? Can you get me this? Can you get me this? And Jared is such an enterprising, almost like documentary thief style director of photography that he will just go out and like attach cameras to things or ride the TTC or just find ways to get these shots.
And also like a compositor and a VFX artist in his own right.
Yeah, right. So he actually knows what to shoot.
Yeah, this is like the I don't want to blow smoke up everyone's asses, but like, Curt, you're a VFX artist as well in your own right, And so this band that we have here is like speaking a fluid language that like not too many people can. And it's such a superpower to be able to align that many people in different departments and then have them all contribute. Like Luca is a camera person as well and also compositing, like at very high level. It's I've never seen anything like it in my life. And there's no other group of people that could make this movie, period.
It's because nobody realizes that VFX are like the secret. If you want to shoot something and make it seem like you put no effort into it, you better be fucking amazing at VFX. Because otherwise, like that's the difference. Yeah. That's the difference. Like if you want to go out with your friends and shoot random garbage in the streets for days, you'd better have like the best understanding of how VFX works. Because that's the only way you're going to make that into a coherent story.
Yeah. And that's your moat, as a director and for this world, the Nirvana world.
Oh, this is why nobody else can do it, you mean?
Yeah. That's your moat.
It's funny because it's something I never talk about, literally. Like, nobody thinks of these as VFX movies. Nobody thinks of like The Dirties or even the Bourdain movie or Blackberry. Like, you don't think of these as VFX movies. And you just don't realize how much VFX is going on.
I feel like the show, maybe people would, and
well, we're showcasing it.
But you know what, Trizzy?
That's a VFX.
I think you get so much credit for that beyond you being the one who does so much of the work. But I think it's like MJ and I working with you on Operation Avalanche and realizing like, oh, we can do all this stuff, and Tristan's so great at this. Then informed us to be like, well, what can we do in the Vice show now that we know we can do this? And then so even this movie being what it is, it's not like the web show had. What? Maybe Jared did a few VFX shots like that. Snow out the window, but it was nothing like this, right? You're not building sequences.
You know what? That's such a good point because you may not realize this. I mean, people listening to this, but when we made Operation Avalanche, we were all basically living in this same tiny, cramped office in Little Korea on Clinton and Bloor. And because we were all in this room together, we actually all got to see one another's work. And so watching Tristan do that work on Operation Avalanche was so informative and so fun that then when we opened up the Nirvana the Band editing house for Vice, we did the exact same thing where Tristan's editing and VFX system was right there. And so, like, we just all got in one another's business. It was fun. It was like being in like a little film school where everybody had their own little department.
Yeah.
And Bobby was there for the first part of it. That's when we met.
And Bobby
Little
was there. And
Yeah, I got
Bobby
to
was
see a
there.
bit. Not as much VFX magic because I had left before you guys really got cooking, but I was like, whoa, this is a squad that knows what
I
they're
have to
doing.
give Bobby credit because that sequence you just watched, Mr. Hollywood, Mr. Rocky, Mr. Jennifer Lopez, he literally invented that scene and the scene you're watching right now, where it's flashing back to me with Smack and Jay. You could be famous right now.
Just gotta get all the good alts in, but with a good psychological reason.
Bobby, did you do all the black and white flashbacks in the movie?
No. But these, like this and then Jay's later, were real treats because it's all the funniest stuff that you can never use in the reality of the movie. You get to actually just put it all in. But that's just because I'm a fan of the show and it's the funniest stuff.
The funniest stuff is the black and white flashback stuff. Oh, I love Hollywood.
For a while, we were gonna cover this concert with like where all these ads are back there for like vodka or whatever it is. We were like, oh, can we make those all like Jay McCarroll posters? But then we were thinking about it and we're like, well, this was a concert for the Arkells and it doesn't have their picture everywhere, so it might have made it like less realistic had we done that,
I find that some of the least realistic stuff in the movie, where we lose some of our credibility as storytellers, is with that. Look how famous Jay is. Yeah, exactly. And so the less is more. And I love the way this is shot.
Where it's like we barely have any access. The audience is like, is that Jay? And this is to me where VFX pays off. If you're doing your job right, people think that this is the VFX shot.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so fun. It's like the things that we do for real that seem impossible. It's like this just winds up turning everything upside down. Where it's like, well, the fake things must be real, the real things must be fake. And so the experience of watching it winds up becoming like an active investigation.
Thank you. Okay, I'll be right back.
This is where the movies really got us sucked in suddenly. We're all into the...
Jay, hey. You know, he's my friend. He's my best friend. He's my best friend. Jay, it's me. This is crazy. I found you. What the fuck is going on? Look at this. Okay, I think that we have to get back in the time machine and figure out how to do this again.
This is fun. I mean, I'm sure they talked about it in the production one, but this is pretty much a room full of genuine NTB fans that all came out to.
What?
I think probably like 90% of them. It seems like there's some people who don't know who you guys are, but it's fun because I've seen some of these people over the years, and it gets more into it during the J section. But it was fun to like see people from the Facebook group or people who have shown up to like events and be like, well, their scene's pretty good. We can actually feature them. Hopefully they enjoy it. But as a fan myself, it felt like it was
You should have got in there, Bobby.
a treat. I know. I asked. I did everything I could. They said no.
I was so happy I got to shout this dirties line out to
What are you
out
saying?
to Jay. It's me. I wanted to shout
I didn't
Owen.
even-
It's me.
I've
but-
never put
but-
that together.
I didn't
but-
know that either.
You, of course. It's just these two words that mean nothing. It's me. It's me.
Oh, yeah, okay, sure. But you say it quietly.
It's me.
No, I don't. I go, Owen. What are you doing?
Oh, well, you're
It's
not
me."
screaming it. That's all.
Yeah.
The first week when we came up with this idea for the movie and we had our writer's room, I remember that was something fun to be like, okay, what happens? Does Jay actually lose his memory? Like, who remembers the past? Is it a new version? And then
it's like, no, they both remember everything.
But we got really excited when it was like, okay, but let's have the audience live in what would it be like if Jay didn't remember, and give him everything, give all the feelings that we could.
Big VFX sequence.
Big
Yeah,
VFX sequence.
Yeah, this is all, every single shot here is VFX. Those are VFX girls. There's the VFX Jay. No, here it comes.
Classic and has sustained Jay McCarroll's career for well over a decade now at this point.
I heard you're scared of clowns.
I'm not afraid of clowns.
But I heard that you were.
What's crazy too about that is the person who's actually on Ellen. I don't think we chose that clip as a joke as well about people who, were famous at a certain point and then.
But it's Puff Daddy.
Yeah, but didn't we? I don't think it just
P. Diddy.
Yeah.
So if you look up P. Diddy on Ellen, you will see that exact same clip, and it must have been inspired by the who can't we put in a movie right now?
I don't think it was though.
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it is now. Like as far as
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Yeah. It's just a lucky coincidence.
Did I pitch Ellen?
I think you did.
You might have been. Yeah.
I don't even know why I did. What was the?
Well, you loved
What was
it.
the idea before?
You loved
It
it.
was.
We had just tons.
I think Jay dancing on Ellen was an idea that was going to be
Yes.
funny at one point. Yeah.
You said the VFX feature didn't focus on the collapse Jay's space solid in his body.
Yes.
You said, let me find something else.
Yeah.
Found the Ellen clip. Yeah.
Solution.
Which is so funny to hear back. Like, okay, all these other things are doable, but Jay dancing on Ellen is
not possible. Well, you know what it was.
It was like his feet on the floor. Wasn't that part of it?
The shot that you wanted to use was of like a 4-year-old dancing.
Oh,
And he
right.
was like
Yes.
3.5 feet tall, right? But you wanted to have a grown man in there. Clearly, a spatial conflict.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, we shot a bunch of stuff too where Jay went to his mansion. I guess, do we see this? Oh no, he was going to see like a tour bus.
Yeah, he goes to Oliver. Is Oliver's in there? No, he goes to Oliver's.
Oliver, no, we
big
cut
sequence
Oliver
here.
Sees a
Jewelers
tour
out.
bus.
But is this stuff in the
Yeah,
deleted
yeah.
scenes
There's
in
just
the
going to
movie?
be
Do you
little
know, Curt?
flashes of it, likely, not the whole. But maybe.
I talked about this in the other commentary, but there's an entire huge storyline following that guy Reed Janice, who's Jay's manager in this movie. He was Jay's good friend in the web series, and so we were trying to bring back, same with the Born Ruffians, all these different people who are were relevant in the web series. We're trying to give them more of a story in the movie, but all of that stuff got cut, mostly because we were much more interested in this
These are
pump
big things.
fake that Bobby was talking about before.
Usually I give my shout out to Dave Davidson in the credits during the commentary, but it's right now. There's
There
Dave.
he is.
Hey, Dave. If you ever listen to this, Dave, hope you do. No?
I don't think Dave's going to
Oh,
listen. No, I don't think so.
The hover hand was incredible.
Yeah, beautiful.
He knew what he was doing. And it worked.
I love this idea that Jay beats me there. Any movie where there's a good amount of running, where the characters really have to run to do something that only they understand, I always find funny.
The first time you guys shot this, you totally screwed it up. I forget why. Do you remember this?
Yeah. I don't remember why we screwed it up either, but I know we screwed
Maybe
it
you
up.
only had one bottle or something, and he always he
Back
was
sounds
mimed
right.
doing it every other take. I don't know, it was crazy.
Oh, that is what it was. We only had one bottle.
The first take screwed up.
Oh God, there's gonna be nightmares of shooting this movie now.
Did you guys give some good shout outs to Roz and Mocha on the last commentary?
Yo, I'm sure we did. I mean, every single time I see them, I talk about how great they are at acting. Something that if you're not a filmmaker, if you're just somebody who loves movies and watches movies, I think that you want to think about editing as doing almost primarily one thing, and it is cutting around bad performance. And it's something that hopefully you never see as an audience, but 90%, I would say 95% of an editor's job, in my opinion, is to be a kind of arbiter of taste and decide, well, what can I have these actors saying and not saying? And most of the time, when a shot cuts, unless you're dealing with a real master and the performances are all perfect, it's because they're cutting around bad performance. At least that's been my experience.
what's funny about the Razumoka performance is that really they're doing what they do like every day with artists, right? Because there's probably tons of people they don't know, and they gotta be like, hey, yeah, yeah.
You gotta act like they're the star of the world.
This guy's great. Is it Sydney's relative?
Like uncle?
It is. I've always said it was Sydney's uncle, but no, it's actually just Sydney's parents' friend, who owns this RV place, and he was a really keen guy, and I'd heard him talking about the RVs, and so I went up to him and said, "Hey, would you walk Jay to the RV and basically just tell him everything that's great about that RV?" And he went, "Sure, no problem." And so they did it once, and it was perfect, and we put it in the movie.
Is what Jay sees on the wall the photos in the like deleted scenes or goofs and spoofs?
I don't know I think if we used it, we have to pay like $5,000 or something. So
Man, that Elon Musk photo not being in this cut is a heartbreaker, dude.
Dude, I don't know why we didn't leave it in. Like I had said, let's do
I
it.
remember
So
a few
funny.
reasons. I liked it too, though. But
I think there was a combo
I liked
around
it
just
too.
like
I
how
think-
many like sexual predators.
I
do
think
we
it
wanna-
was. I think this was just
it was
Jay
Jay said it.
saying, "I don't want."
Yeah,
We're not
it
saying
would've been-
Elon
that.
is a sexual
We're not saying
predator
that.
either.
It was well, he's with Maxwell.
yeah, it's
didn't wanna
Jay
s-
and Maxwell.
He's with Ghislaine.
Yeah,
And that,
Yeah.
didn't speak. It didn't cast Jay in the greatest light.
Going on tour.
I love Steve.
But it was so funny. This shot, literally, so to speak, is we use VFX to cover this, but we didn't plan on making this a VFX shot, did we, Triz? Or did we know from
Well,
the
I
very
was
beginning?
there. I was
this
there
gonna be-
to make sure things went right, and they didn't go completely right. So there was some editing.
Yeah.
But predominantly, it was a blast cannon strategy, and it was really successful for what it was, and we just had a little bit of like set malfunction happen that we had to clean up.
It blew
You
the
know,
wallpaper
right.
up so that the blood went under half of the wallpaper, and it looked
Exactly,
like
so-
VFX had cut it off.
Yeah, it
which
looked
was
like a weird crop, and so we had to clean that up and extend it,
put
and then also add like the muzzle flash and the bullet hole. So
It should be said that Tristan is also an artist on The Boys, which is an extremely gory show, and so to him, this was like basically nothing in terms of the amount of blood, etc. But I remember being so shocked when I first saw this cannon go off. I was like, "This is such a huge amount of blood."
and Bobby, I remember you really pushing to be like, he's got to have blood dripping down his forehead, blood coming down the front of his shirt.
Yeah,
Maybe it
it's
was
a
you
big
too,
gun.
Triz, but yeah. Bobby's watched a lot of videos that I would never even dare.
Well, it's a
And
deagle.
so-
Same with me. I would never watch those videos. But Bobby has a hard drive at his house in Austin, Texas.
This is fun. I'm sure you talked about this in the other one about Drake's house.
well,
No, we talked about shooting it, but we did not talk about the editing of it. And this to me was if you're watching, this was the very first thing that got edited together for the Nirvana the Band movie. It was Bobby took this. Well, I mean of this version of the movie. Like Bobby took the. This was before we even had the headshot footage, right?
No, not
Or
at
did we
all,
have the
not at all.
headshot footage? Yeah, so we had this news broadcast cut together before we had anything else. And I remember watching this just thinking, this is the funniest thing in the world. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Yeah, there's so much city news in this film.
this is a joke that like Torontonians specifically will always understand. If you were born in or alive for the Drake era.
Yeah. That first note there is something I only wrote because Curt demanded that I at least have it somewhere acknowledged that Matt thinks that
But
Jay's
what I
mind is
really loved and
erased.
wanted to make in the movie was that you assumed that it was because of your hat. It protected your brain. But Jay's head was exposed when you time traveled. But your memories were retained. You know something? I had a friend who watched the movie and was expecting your doubles to show up
Yep.
in this
I've heard
timeline.
that before too.
And I really hope though that your tattoo of Jay is doing some heavy lifting of like, oh no, he's in this body of this other version, but I don't know.
It's funny logic. You go back in time, doubles it there.
Hey, the fact is, but you can't win them all. And yes, we take over the bodies of the people who were here. Like we erase them from wherever they were and take over.
Is that? Oh no, yeah, I remember writing on the board too in that like first week of coming up with the idea that it was like, okay, you go back in time and it's Back to the Future rules. Then you go forward in time and it's butterfly effect rules. And that's why Bobby and I were always really pushing for when you traveled in time to do the butterfly effect montage of this is what's now happened in that timeline leading up to here.
Do you guys still?
Yeah,
wish
that's
that
one of
we'd done
that. I guess that is the one thing I wish we still did.
You seriously think the movie would be better if we'd done those stupid
It would be
catching
funnier,
up with
We
yeah.
did it on those awesome
so
butterfly
funny.
effect things. Yeah.
To see how the young guys coming back to the board in 2008, seeing Don't play the show on the Rivoli upended their relationship, and then seeing the few leaps in time to how they get to this place now would have been great.
I think that it would have been insanely confusing for people, and they would have been like upset.
Okay. And if you wanted to,
No, man.
No,
go anywhere.
Yeah.
we'll never know.
Yes.
Obama.
Oh,
Obama's gotten some love.
No problem. Why would you go back to? I don't understand. That's another. Most of the jokes I'm saying are just things that were inside jokes between us. Like when we were editing BlackBerry, there'd be all these little things that would come up, and then I just used them all in this movie. It's crazy.
This was a scene that was shot pretty early on because I remember we had just kind of the outline maybe of the movie. There was some reason why this seemed like something we could shoot early. I guess because it was in the apartment, like it was in the house, and it was just you two. And it seemed like something that was easy to reshoot if we got it wrong. So it was in the, yeah.
But we never did. Yeah. When you guys were editing this, was it like, is there a lot taken out? And I mean specifically of Jay's drum beat versus me doing this incoherent rapping. Like,
Yes. And moments where you're either saying
I'm
like there's
wondering
another
that-
line that is said between here but that isn't as funny, or takes a while to like figure out what the song is. So yeah, there's definitely some cuts going on.
yeah, I figured because I don't remember shooting it at all. It's one of those things where when I first saw it come together, I was like, oh my God, what is I can't
And even when you
believe
end it
this.
with ABC, like you keep going for a while. I forget what letter you reach it to, but that's all edited to make it sound like it.
Well, it's very. That's another great bit that you have Jay
Yeah,
go
just
back to drumming again, as though we're gonna keep the joke going.
Also, there's a big deleted scene right before this with you and Ethan trying to brainstorm how to get you back.
And it truly was deleted. We screened that at South by Southwest at the world premiere. There's a whole like 2-minute scene of Ethan explaining his health
It's
routine
funny
to me.
but it just we realized we could take it out and it would still all work.
Yeah, that's the real hazard of learning to edit.
I always thought this was funny.
Is that you realize you have to edit.
The juice on it,
Of
I
what?
was always a big fan of.
That's one of my favorite lines. How do we know? Yesterday time travel wasn't real. And then I pour a juice
You
on
know
it
what
and it
I
works.
also want to say about crafting this type of movie? Shooting this scene early and editing it and getting excited about it was a real great pillar. And we had a few of those, and we were able to then string things, from one to the next.
To me, it was that scene. How do we know? Pour a juice on it. It was Bobby's news broadcast with the real broadcaster saying somebody's been shot. It was
2008.
Well, 2008 is an idea because we hadn't put it together. It was so hard, but knowing that 2008 sequence was going to work. And what was the other scene that got edited? We were like,
You
oh man,
guys,
this is actually funny.
When you first time travel, and then you're on the whiteboard talking about butterfly effect and all that. That was an early one that.
Oh yeah.
Really,
the
it's like
butterfly
you and Jay
effect.
usually in a contained environment. yeah.
Contained environment, yeah. And everything else, because it's so easy to shoot that in compared to everything else. It is interesting. Now, so here it is. Look at this. You want to talk about amazing editing?
But you know what? There's a nasty stitch here. Don't look,
I
Trace.
know.
Close your
Look,
eyes.
Look, watch.
I don't know if I told you about this one.
The Spider-Man?
No, there's a stitch there.
Yeah, but Yeah, is a gnarly
But it's
stitch
worth it.
to try to
I know,
get
because
that,
of course it's going to the
Of
moment
course.
earlier in the movie where they didn't have the wheelbarrow and the rope
There, you wait.
to show that Spider-Man.
Chuck the rope down.
And this trick, I mean,
to go see my Brazilian friend.
I remember you.
it's obvious how this was pulled off, right?
I talked about how we did it, but mostly from the perspective of how upset it made me to actually do, because it was so hard to shoot. Because the thing that, I mean, it goes without saying, but obviously we can't have our cameras in a place where people can see them. And so that means the cameras need to be so far away that we can't effectively communicate. And so Jared and Luca or Nikolai are just guessing where we're going to go or who we're going to talk to. And so when they miss it, it's not really their fault, but I act like it was, and I get really mad.
That guy that says, "Hey, are you Jay McCarroll?" is actually not saying anything.
That's Curt
He's
Lobb.
just walking by, and Jay's going, "No, I just look like him." And the ADR is by my friend named Connor Marsden, who was here at the station, and I got him to say it. Threw it in.
Oh, and Kurt,
know,
your voice
which is
is coming
crazy.
up too. When you hear this guy say,
And I
"What's
just did
going
it
on?"
real quick once on my phone and thought you guys would replace it in the mix, and now it's in the
now
trailer
it's in
for
the
the movie.
trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's in the trailer. Oh, this is another beautiful sequence. Okay, so Triz, this is the other thing that we were like, this is going to be a VFX nightmare.
And it was, but we made it less of a nightmare. We built this replica CN Tower tip practically, and then I made you guys haul it to the top of a mountain. 2 hours
to the top of a
to
ski hill.
to get as much like open air and real wind and open horizon as humanly possible. Which was cool. It paid off because we got to like use every part of the buffalo here, and all of these skies, for the most part, are all real. And so we built a green cove that aligned with the horizon line, and everything below that was a city extension. And then, yeah, we used Gaussian splats to do that. And yeah, this rope is all CG.
And MJ, why don't you just talk a bit more about the Gaussian splats?
Sure. Well, so I actually, I should talk about it because I tripped on one and hurt my leg. This is such a crazy combination of VFX and practical effects, because obviously what Jay is dealing with and touching is real. And so what we have going on is like this crazy combination of Tristan's VFX and like here, like from shot to shot, it's going from practical to VFX to practical to VFX in ways that I can't even track all the time. But yeah, Triz, I remember when you first showed me this, like even how you're hiding the horizon line is so well done. And the fact that Jared is actually there with me, we're seeing Jared's hands, we're getting to like feel this exactly the way that it was. Yeah. That was another really fun thing to shoot.
It comes back again at night.
This is actually kind of hard.
So we designed it so that we could shoot in both day and night with drones, which will become relevant later.
The lightning rod of the CN Tower.
Yeah, all real sky.
Oh. Yeah, right. That's another thing, is that this is not a VFX shot at all.
At the bottom.
It becomes one. Yeah, it becomes one. But you don't understand what I'm saying.
That song you suggested that you realized we should have put in is exactly right too, MJ.
I
crazy.
know. Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah, I put personally like 100 songs against this to just try to find something, because what we had originally we didn't like or we couldn't get. I don't remember.
We couldn't get the rights to it. Wait, remind me what song I suggested.
The Everybody's Talking. Everyone's looking. Yeah.
Oh yes. Harry Nilsson's
This is
Everybody's
like
Talking.
today,
Yep,
right?
I
You
know.
said this? Or you got yesterday?
It was yesterday. It was yesterday.
Which is funny because I'm
Yesterday.
sure, well, and on other movies that we've been a part of, you know, usually you like picture lock. Maybe you get one more crack at making changes, but that's it. But because we're so used to having the privilege of doing all these different versions of this movie, it is rare that there's like one last thing where we're like, oh no, we should have changed that. And so I think it's a funny feeling to feel like maybe this wasn't the right song choice. But you know what? I think it is.
It's got
I like
history.
it.
It's good.
Yeah.
It does, and it's not terrible, but yeah. Triz, we totally skipped over all of your work on that sequence. I don't know if you want to talk about that
wasn't
at
there.
all.
It was completely CG the whole time. No, I'm kidding. It was like a beautiful back and forth between practical and CG extensions. And, you know, that was fun work. It was funny.
Did doing that, like that cable out into infinity shot, like, was that harder or easier than you thought it was when we pitched it? Because I remember in my mind, because I don't understand anything about like rubber cable dynamics or how they would look, I thought it was just going to be easy, like we just draw a straight line. And it was only once we started really working with it that I was like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. Like it's affected by wind. Like we need the bounce to carry out along the whole thing. What the fuck? In reality, we realized it would just, like, even if we did do this practically, it would be impossible because of the weight of the cable in the air as it unfolded. Like you just couldn't.
And
you just couldn't.
We only discovered that after seeing initial like simulations that we didn't think deeply enough about. Where you looked at it and you're just like, well, that's wrong. Why is that wrong? And then you just like pull the thread, and it became way more complicated than we thought.
Is it 2D? Is the cable 2D or 3D?
No, it's 3D and simulated. So
that's awesome.
Not only is it 3D, but our wheelbarrow is also simulated 3D and rotated as a 3D asset. We're basically turning a motor. Like that thing is rotating, and its rotation as it moves with us is affecting the way the cable.
The physical performance of the person pushing the barrel is the thing that is triggering the event of the sine curve that flows through the wire, which is also connected 2 kilometers away and is like 1,000
to the top of the tower.
100,000 pounds.
This whole
this whole
sequence as well. I definitely have lots of memories. And shout out to Lou, our VFX producer, who would be in these meetings with us, where we would, like Bobby and I would be showing Trizzy and Lou whatever cut of basically this whole sequence, and then we'd always realize like, oh, we need like 4 more shots where the wire goes all the way up to the CN tower, don't we? And this is like so deep into working on this. And I would say, I don't know, from what we initially thought as far as VFX shots just in this like wire stuff, Trizzy, what do you think? Do we do like triple in the end of what you initially signed up for?
Yeah.
But
they're all necessary. Like there isn't a wasted moment, right? And like, I'll be real with you. Like, I'm always trying to reduce volume, but like, I'll also be extremely honest. If the narrative needs it, it fucking needs it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think you can, again, because of how we shoot the movie, like, you can feel it. If it feels like the cameras are intentionally not doing what would be natural and showing the action of what's playing out, like, you just can't do that, right? So, but we got lucky with these.
Fluidity is key.
We got lucky with these night shots, though, when we realized, you know what, you probably wouldn't really see the cable.
Right.
So we, didn't always have to do it on those.
Yeah, and I would say that also plays into like the non-frivolity, like not having frivolous shots that are being used to highlight a VFX. Something we did that is impossible. Also, I think is really, really, really helping to believe that this is all real, because we're not trying to make a big deal out of it in the way that if this were a Hollywood movie, you would. Like, you'd show all kinds of different coverage of it, and you'd keep cutting back to it and showing it in such a way where you'd be like, wow, this is creating uncanny
it's
valley.
contrived.
Yeah.
So these are, this is a sequence that has surreptitiously embedded visual effects in the real world, which was a fun experiment. So we had to composite all of the effects that are about to come up and play them at a bar in front of patrons who weren't in on the joke and had no idea what they were looking at was visual effects. And so part of the magic is that our camera personnel are capturing what, is real reactions to, an amazing event, which is not really happening.
And this is one of the few times we've been able to do this in Nirvana the Band, which is you take a VFX sequence and then you play it as though it's a news broadcast. And then all of a sudden, not only is it real to the people watching the movie, it's real to the people in the movie. And that's how you get like these girls going breaking news, oh my God, like a look like that. It's something we'd never done before, and it's such a great effect.
Something unique about this moment too in the movie, which is usually we have so much freedom to go out and shoot whatever, and we can keep going and reshooting it. We don't have to have much of a plan going into it. But with this, it was like before we could ever shoot any of this stuff, we had to figure out which plates of the CN Tower we were going to use so that we knew like what shots of MJ to comp into these plates. So then we could lock in on our shots, finish them to a certain degree so we could put them on a TV. So there's like all these decisions that needed to be made and locked in as we went, which again is so rare. Usually we're like, let's just go shoot a bunch of stuff and see what happens. But sometimes we do have to kind of make up our mind on some elements beforehand.
And there is excess in this workflow. Like you'll end up comping shots that never see the light of day. And there are several in that sequence. I didn't mean to speak over you, MJ, sorry.
But no, I was going to say that's exactly right. And I would say the only reason that we were able to do what you're describing is because the scene in question has no dialogue. It's because it's just me wrestling with a cable, and we knew that we'd be able to comp my dialogue in later. Like, the whole reason that we always wait to the last minute before making a decision on something is because the thing that is the hardest to get right is what the characters say.
And we had this cut.
Like
we
that
had
always...
this angle too that we could rely on for that narrative driver. Right?
Yes. Yeah, so we could always have my dialogue be this low angle that Jared, interestingly enough, demanded to shoot, even though we all thought, well, we're never going to use that, so why even have Jared shoot it? But Jared's like, no. Just, I'm not doing anything. Put me in there and I'll just shoot this low angle. And holy shit, it saved the whole sequence. I really love this shot, Triz, like the parachute opening. Give the audience a sense of how big my model actually is. Like if I were to come right next to Jay, am I like 40 feet tall?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. That's why I look at that and I'm like, I know how big the CN Tower is. For me to be that visible,
It's
I must be like 100 feet tall.
And Jay taking his hat off there it's like, oh, his disguise is off, right? Now the cops will get him. But I always thought it was just like a funny thing that you would do, like in a movie, if you're really happy.
When you're really
take your hat
celebrating?
off and wave it around.
I thought it was so childlike and such a
it feels like
amazing...
he won a baseball tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that the kid in Hook does that, literally. This was one of the last VFX shots we did, and the reason we did it was because the hardest shot in the world to figure out was how does Matt land on top of this fucking streetcar? And then in the end we decided, let's do it without VFX, and we'll just have Matt actually fucking jump off it. And
into a crash mat.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, that's
Which
hidden.
you still needed VFX on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That VFX hid. So even in these things where it's like it seems totally practical, there's still VFX all.
We see a hole in your jacket, which seems like maybe it was there for the parachute, right? Like for the movie, but in reality, it just split while filming. Isn't that right?
It ripped open when I was getting grabbed by those bodyguards and dragged out when I'm shouting, "It's me! It's me!" And rather than repairing it, which we had to do all the time, I said, "Don't repair it. We'll pretend that's where the parachute came out of, and we'll go shoot that parachute scene tomorrow."
It was such a good justification too.
Mm-hmm. As though Matt had sewn a parachute into the back.
Well,
because
you left the RV with nothing on your back, so perfect. Yeah, this
is another great VFX shot. I love this. I'm grabbing nothing. There's nothing in my hand, and then all of a sudden, I'm actually holding
a perfect
something.
pantomime.
This is my favorite shot. Yeah,
this is one of my favorite shots.
I love it.
Yeah. This girl is on the phone. She could care less. It's so Toronto. She's on speakerphone. It's funny, every single time I'm watching this movie and it gets to this point, I always have the same thought, which is, oh wow, it's over.
I thought you were going to say
so
boring.
No, I like this sequence. This is the one where you guys did the most writing other than 2008. Like, you guys basically designed this entire
Poor Bobby
chase
was on
sequence.
this for a long, long time. This is really all Bobby.
Well, luckily we had Jay drawing those animatics, and so we could at least visualize the steps and the cutting, or else if we didn't have an image to like play with, I don't think it would have been possible. But Jay gave us really, that you'll see in the animatics, really amazing drawings of everything.
I thought this French actress did a great job too. Like, it was the right choice to cast her. We saw what?
She's not actually French. She speaks in a very clear English accent.
Yeah. When I met her at the screening, I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
At South by Southwest, when she came on stage with us and took a bow.
This is GTA. Well, people recognize this GTA 4.
Did you know that, Trizzy?
What's that?
That's a video game character speaking. Cop there.
Just the cops.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's all I could find on YouTube. Cop. This is a funny. These papers were always supposed to fly. Every time there's a paper that Matt sees, they're always supposed to fly in the wind and hit him in the face. And I don't think it never worked.
And we could never get it to work. I challenge you, if you're a filmmaker, try to get a newspaper to perfectly hit you in the face, even in a close-up, and have it like land the way that you want. We shot like 100 takes. We did 100 takes. I was like fucking Jackie Chan. Trying to get this thing to work. It was so fucking hard.
This is a good example of something that I was unsure of for a long time, which is like, were we telling enough in this moment? And do we really know that Matt knows everything or not? And do we want the audience to think that Matt fully knows what's going on with Jay? And this is another kind of experiment at South by, where we're like, let's just show it with as little as possible. And then it seemed to go over really well. And we were like, I guess it's working, so...
But does Matt think that his Jay is the one, or is it ever clear that which Jay, if it's just that Jay is lying to him, this famous Jay is lying to him, and he kind of gets why, or that it was his real Jay?
I think he knows it's his real Jay.
I think it's up to the audience.
It's it's one of the mysteries of this film is what's going through Matt Johnson's head at that exact moment.
Find out the truth.
Now we can finally answer it. I'll tell you what actually was going through my head. Why did I eat that peach yogurt smoothie? Because literally, Tristan, you were there. 2 hours later, I was throwing up everywhere.
Yeah,
and I shouldn't have. I already admitted to that. I've already admitted that. Yeah.
Jocelyn was there the next
Jocelyn
morning,
there?
waiting to come visit me,
was there
and
that night.
Heard you getting up, cleaning the bathroom or cleaning the bedroom or something.
I was cleaning the floor.
And she found out why you were up.
Bro, I was cleaning the floor.
Flashbacks
have changed.
Were different. They were just web series.
They were web series. Yeah. They were web show flashbacks. Yeah, and then we switched them to Vice Guy.
What was Jocelyn's term about MJ? Digestive issues or something? What was it that she said?
Oh yeah, she's very polite way of describing the feces on the floor.
I was fucking poisoned by a bubble tea place on Spadina, and this is right after eating an entire dinner at Swatow with half the crew.
That was the funniest thing, to be able to talk over Trizzy's great VFX. Hey Triz, you got to tell us.
You got to tell us about that shot, because that is the one that is got like 15 different shots all put together to make it.
That's true. Yeah, it was a big pan, and we lit the whole Queen Street on fire, and we shot that in like several different elements over a couple hours, and dude, the logistics of getting traffic to stop long enough.
It was horrible.
To burn.
Do you remember when that guy tried to fight the cops because he wanted to go through?
God, it was horrific. Yeah, that was a really tough shoot, actually. And
I remember when we couldn't get both burn marks to happen at the same time, so you had to double them.
I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. It was like really...
True enough.
It was, it was such a
difficult shoot, yeah.
situation, so... But we wanted to pay as much homage to the original effects as possible. And I think we did a great job. It's an awesome moment.
Yeah, and to me, it really, because it's the first time we've seen the RV time jump from outside the RV, it's fulfilling an expectation that I think we have as a viewer to be like, well, what actually does this look like, even if it's subconscious? It's great to finally see it from the perspective of somebody who's not.
Which again, I think we did well. There's so many moments that are similar through the movie where they're jumping in time or they're at the CN Tower, but every time we kind of show it with a different way or add something to it. Also, I just realized for the first time that first shot we show the orbits empty now, right? Mm-hmm. And then instantly when it's a shot of you running down the stairs, full bottle of orbits sitting there. yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
MJ had a real vision for this ending, and so this is his.
This is one of the few things I edited.
Yeah, the song. Drove it on.
Yeah. I was a hater.
And this, yeah.
I wanted Jay's piano to cut out,
Yep.
but then I wanted to be the thing to put us in the flashbacks. And I also wanted to flashbacks with things. To just tell a story. It's simple. And this whole sequence, I edited in like 2 hours.
I just stayed that way.
Your station, we changed it a little bit. It was like big crates, like
If you changed it, it broke it. Like there was something about the way cutting back and forth from like Jay playing the piano. There was just like a poetic nature to it that we couldn't change it, or else it broke it.
Because otherwise, I don't know how that film was going to end.
And here it is.
I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Pixamondo and Lou Gotti and all of the compositors and CG artists who contributed to this wacky universe that we love and adore and have nurtured for, over a decade. So thank you, Pixamondo, for taking a chance on us and letting us do great things, because, without that company's support, this movie would not be possible. So thank you.
And they had such insane patience, especially Lou, the producer, who just every single time would be like, hey, so look, I know that we only said that we were going to do 1,000 shots. Now it actually needs to be 1,500. And we can't negotiate. We just need to do them. I'm sorry.
We also have another big shout out to Mark Hussey, who did endless overnights of turnovers and temp comps for us.
Assistant editor, VFX producer.
Yeah.
Mark was also, I started working on Blackbeard. He was just that was a good idea.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Also, Luca and Jared, thank you for compositing and helping us out when we had no money and we were up against the wall. Those two really made things work for us in the heat of the moment.
So we're at the visual effects list.
You gotta say some of these.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Outstanding team. I think it was our favorite drum.
Yeah, all of them.
Shout out to Jonah for all his great quick turnaround comps that he got us.
Yeah.
Who did the art design too for like a lot of the ads?
That art design was all done by Raina, Doris' sister, and Doris.
And Doris killed it too.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Work.
Well, this was fun, guys.
Guys, let's get Sydney Lloyd.
Oh my
Shout out
God.
to
Just
Sydney.
trying to throw thanks to everybody.
Yeah,
we
she
gave
did a
Sydney
great
a ton
job.
of love on the
Oh,
production.
okay, never mind. Take that back.
Tons.
Take it back.
No, we can still
Carrie,
give more.
you must talk about Carrie lots on that.
Carrie Noonan, the production designer who more or less created these worlds, but all you need to do is open a single BTS clip on this DVD, and you will see Carrie and Malcolm's face everywhere, and how much work they put into this. I would specifically say, look at how we shot the CN Tower Needle to see how much work got put into that. But I think the whole reason to, if you listen to this, take this lesson. If you are a filmmaker or you're interested in this, editing is filmmaking. We the group that has been speaking to you now fundamentally believes that movies are editing. More so than anything else, they're an editor's medium. And so if you are interested in telling stories with movies, learn to edit even the basics, because it will unlock a world of magic to you. You can control reality, and that will inspire you to tell stories in the same way that it's done to us. Most of our writing comes from editing.
And visual effects will give you that extra mileage.
Of course, they go hand in hand.
Guys,
Super Films and Z for the ice cream that Z purchased for us and the dinners.
Thanks for listening. Oh, it's still
It's
going.
not over.
Oh, this is Luca who made this? Who did this?
Yeah, Luca added this.
I haven't seen this.
People think this is going to be an extra scene, and it's not, but that's okay.
Bobby, you know what?
Special.
You really got.
And so the movie's not that good.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
See.
Goodbye, everybody.
Ciao.
Goodbye.
I want to be the last one to say bye.
Go ahead.